Hey, what's up? It's Greg. Happy Friday. And for those of you who are new to the channel, on Friday I try to do an unscripted version of a video where I talk about topics that are sort of off the main beaten path of the channel, which is normally markets, business, and investment. And so today it happens to be Good Friday, and so my message for this Friday and my question is basically, so what's so good about Good Friday? And you'll notice how I'm dressed. That's because even though it's April 2nd, it's like freaking cold out here. It's like full-on winter. I think it's like 27 degrees out here. And so it's still winter in the Northeast. And hopefully spring will be here soon. But this topic relates back to what I did last Friday, where I talked about some techniques to use to increase success and to increase achieving your goals. So I refer you back to that, and I'll also put the recommendation up top here somewhere. And so anyway, let's get right into it. All right? So this time of year is a very important time of the year on the calendar for both the Jewish and the Christian faith. Jews, of course, celebrate Passover this week, which ends this weekend. And Christians celebrate Palm Sunday, which was last Sunday, Good Friday, and Easter, of course. And the significance of Good Friday and Easter is, of course, that Christ died on the cross, was resurrected, and on Easter ascended into heaven. And basically, as the story goes, he died for the sins of the world to redeem us, and in his suffering and death created new life for the world and new hope for humanity. Okay, now when I was a kid, I used to say to my mother, "Mom, if Christ died on Good Friday, why is that good? How could that be good? I mean, that's a terrible thing." And of course, the suffering that he went through and his death, of course, to anybody who was there, it was a horrible thing. But if you look at this, if you take a step away from the religious significance and you look at it as an allegory to life, I think it's very interesting and very instructive. And again, it goes back to what I talked about last week. And I'm going to try to, if I can, tie both of these things together so that it has some meaning and significance for you. Okay. So having said that as the background, let me just fast forward to today, where we're all living our lives and we're all experiencing hardships and successes and various things of this nature, and we're trying to get through life, and we're trying to make the best of things and have things turn out the way we want them to. And this is what I talked about last week, how to facilitate achieving your goals. But in taking a step backward and just looking at the human mind and the human experience, we all evolved as cavemen, cavewomen, over millions of years of fighting against the elements, of starving, of trying to find food. And so our minds developed in the mode of focusing on negatives, focusing on challenges. And so for the most part, most people, including myself, most people focus on problems and what they don't want in life. Okay? Because the level of importance that's been placed on these things has a survival basis to it, right? So for the most part, most people occupy their minds with what they don't want. okay? And what happens is that when this happens, and when this is the focus, you're generating thought energy, and we talked about this on the last video. You're generating energy from your aura and from your thoughts, focusing on what you don't want, okay? And then people wonder why in life their worst scenarios sometimes and often materialize, and they don't understand why. You know, they feared something, they were preoccupied with a negative, and incidentally, most people are very clear on what they don't want, but very few people are extremely clear about what they do want. So in focusing on these negatives, we continue this feedback loop where we're producing unwanted events and unwanted situations in our life, and we wonder why. Okay, and the reason is that you attract into your life and you materialize in your life those things that occupy the predominance of your thoughts and what you focus on. Okay? And I talked about this in the last video where we talked about the alternative space, going back to 𝐦𝐨𝐫𝐞's model, where all outcomes exist simultaneously in the alternative space. And you, through your thought energy and what you focus on, tend to materialize in the alternative space that which matches the thought energy that you're giving out and the frequency that you are predominantly giving out in your thoughts and your actions. Okay? Now you can either believe this or not believe it, but I think there's plenty of evidence that this is true. I've seen it in my life. I've seen it in other people's lives. Some people seem to be surrounded by a black cloud where everything they touch turns to shit. Other people go through life seemingly living a charmed life. They try half as hard as other people, and things just seem to work out. Everything they touch turns to gold. I've known people like this. And I believe that this is the result of the frequency that you're giving out in terms of your thoughts and your actions. It leads you to an outcome in the alternative space. Because remember, all those every outcome possible already exists. So you're attracting the lifeline, so to speak, or you're living the lifeline that corresponds to your predominant thoughts. And I've seen this many, many times in myself and with other people. So the way I'm relating this back to the message of Good Friday is that a lot of what happens to you in life and the space and the lifeline which you occupy and the lifeline that you live corresponds to how you react to things that happen to you. Okay? Because again, going back to what we said last week, that most people have a script. Most people have a way that their mind thinks that things should work out, and events that should happen in a certain sequence. And when something happens that deviates from that script that they have in their mind, they react negatively to it, right? Which further sort of exacerbates that negative event. and so on and so forth, and you can create a sort of a negative feedback loop where more negativity is reacted more negatively, and so on and so on. Now, what most people don't realize is that it takes a little bit more discipline, but it's just as easy to react positively to things as it is to react negatively. So as we said in the last video, I'm going to refer to it again, and I'm going to tie it back to Good Friday. When something deviates from your script and happens that's, quote, bad, viewed as bad, try to discipline yourself to react positively to it. Okay? And get into the habit of viewing everything positively and accepting the fact that your mind cannot judge positive and negative because it doesn't have the capability of understanding how a particular scenario or lifeline is going to manifest itself. Okay? And the message of Good Friday is a great example of this. And, you know, many truths come out of the Bible, as we talked about last time. I'm sure for anyone who experienced the crucifixion and Christ dying on the cross and the pain and heartache of that happening was viewed, I'm sure, by all of the followers, by all of the followers of Christ at the time, viewed as the worst possible thing that could have possibly happened. Okay? But that horrible thing led to the redemption, new life, and new hope for humanity. And as a result of that terrible event, Christianity was formed, and it became the most prevalent religion in the world. I'm not getting religious here, but I'm using this as an allegory to try to show you and relate it back to today, where when something terrible happens to you, you know, you lose a lover, you lose a job, there's an illness, whatever it may be, view it as positive. Give up the importance that you assign to the script and understand and accept that you don't always know what's best for you, and you don't always know what the future will hold as a result of that event, because you just don't have the capability of understanding that, because there are greater powers at work. Now, the other thing that goes along with this is when something good happens, when something particularly fortuitous happens, celebrate it. Exaggerate emotionally your joy and thankfulness and gratitude. These are all very powerful emotions that project a frequency that will lead you to more satisfactory and more beneficial lifelines in your life. Negativity does not do that. Negativity is a lower form of energy which takes you to less satisfying, less productive lifelines and outcomes. Okay? So I would say my message today is show gratitude, be thankful for what you have, be positive, show a positive reaction to everything that happens to you, and that energy, that thought and emotional energy, will help to unite your mind and your heart as to what you're doing, and it will help you achieve the goals that you're trying to achieve and help you to have a happy life. And I guess that's it. That's my message for Good Friday. What makes Good Friday so good? It's the promise for a better future. It's the redemption of humanity. And you can put the principles that I've laid out in this and my previous video last week. You can apply these principles in your life and greatly improve your situation and just be more happy. I mean, happiness is something you create today, right now. It's not something in the future. And if you can't create it today, it's not coming in the future either. All right, so that's my message. Happy Good Friday. Happy Passover, whatever the case may be. And this message that I put forth, I try and do it every Friday. And sometimes it doesn't come out till Saturday, some of my subscribers have noticed. But it depends on my schedule. But it's been a fairly popular thing, so I'm going to keep doing it. If you got value out of this, please subscribe. As I mentioned in the beginning, we talk about markets, business, and investment. We'll have some more videos coming out very soon. So please subscribe. Please like if you got value out of this. And if you subscribe, it'll be great because you'll be on board for future presentations, which will be coming your way very soon. Thank you. Have an awesome weekend. Enjoy Easter, and we'll see you again next week. Bye.